Good morning, everybody. I'm not going to be on camera today because this is a very short video and we can do it really quickly. This is an introduction to flat felt seams. Flat felt seams are seams that enclose themselves, and they're most often seen on modern clothing on the outside of a pair of jeans along the side of the leg. So this is how you do flat felt seams. It's a great seam for things that need to be sturdy. So you have your two pieces of fabric like this. We want to sew them together. So we're just going to make that seam. Now this is a really large seam so you can see what I'm doing. So the fabric has been sewn together, wrong side to wrong side, which is how you want it to be if the decorative flat felt seam is on the outside of clothing. So I've sewn the seam together. This is my seam. And now I'm going to press it open. You would do this with an iron probably. Linen is very easy to press. So we're going to press it open. See, the seam is pressed open. Now, we're going to get to the part that may be a little funky for you, for those of you who haven't seen a flat felt seam before. We're going to trim half of that seam away. There you go. So now we have this side and we have this side. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to press this over. Press it like this. Now we're going to encase this seam. We're going to fold this over top to cover that up. You see how I did that? I took the wide side of the seam and I folded it over the narrow. That's step one. You press that in place. Step two is you flip that over completely, and there you have your entire seam encased within itself. So if this was a modern piece of clothing, you would get out your sewing machine and you would just stitch here along the edge and catch it, and then you have a nice decorative seam. If you're hand sewing, you can come in from the back and you can do any number of stitches to make it decorative. Whoops, my knot's not sturdy enough. And I'm just going to do a little whip stitch here to catch that seam and close it off. And you would do this the entire length of whatever seam it is that you're making for whatever garment. And you have created a very sturdy, clean seam. And it won't fray, it won't buckle. And if this is the right side, you're going to get very small pinpricky stitches that you may not even see. I've used dark thread so it's contrasting so you can see what I'm doing. But I think that's all you need to know. You're going to sew, finish off the seam, and there you are. So that's what a flat felt seam is. Why don't you try one of these days? I think you're going to enjoy it. See you next time.